Good morning, everyone. This is Father Nate, missionary priest in Italy, and thanks for joining us today, January 25th, on No Greater Delight, our podcast on Marian feasts and Marian meditations. Well, I would say today is a slow day. There's not a whole lot of Marian feasts, but in reality, every day is a busy day for our Blessed Mother because she's always looking out for us, always helping us. So today, although we might only have 3 separate celebrations, still, they show her love and protection that she gives us. So first, we can go to Constantinople, way back in the year in 452, so it's 452, when the Shroud of the Blessed Virgin Mary was moved to that city. Now, according to sources, the Bishop of Jerusalem, Juvenal, sent the shroud to Constantinople in 452 because he had been ordered to do so by the Eastern Roman Emperor Marian and the Empress Saint Pulcheria, who was quite devoted herself to the Blessed Virgin Mary. In fact, she built many churches to Mary under the title of Mary, Mother of God. Likewise, we head across the ocean to Mexico and Venezuela. In Mexico, they celebrate Nuestra Señora de la Encarnación, Our Lady of the Incarnation, in Encarnación de Díaz, Jalisco in Mexico, because on this day the statue was crowned way back in 1922, so just over 100 years ago. Her feast day is actually February 2nd. Likewise, we have Nuestra Señora de la Victoria in Nirgua, Yaracuy, Venezuela, because this is the date of the city's founding, celebrated with a rodeo, dancing, and traditional foods. So if you're in that region of Venezuela, be careful, but also know that you can go to the rodeo in honor of Our Lady. And then last, jumping across the ocean again, they also celebrate the feast of Nuestra Señora de Belén, Our Lady of Bethlehem, in Belorado, Burgos, Castilla y León in Spain. This is also the city's patronal feast, which is celebrated with Mass and traditional dancing. So that's what we're celebrating today in honor of Our Lady on January 25th.
For today's reading from The Imitation of Mary by Alexander de Rouville, we continue with Book 2, which talks about Mary's virtues and example from Jesus' birth until his death. And today we'll start Chapter 8, entitled, How to Offer the Sacrifices God Asks of Us. Because this is a little bit longer of a chapter, we'll split it into 2 parts. So the first is basically just an introduction. The offering which mothers made of their firstborn sons to God in the temple was but a small thing. However, your offering of Jesus, Holy Virgin, was a true sacrifice. You knew that someday he would sacrifice his life for the salvation of men. Therefore you offered him now as a victim, just as he had already offered himself to the Eternal Father. The event in the temple was the beginning of sufferings that would last to the dying breath of Jesus. Your soul began at that moment to be pierced by the sword of sorrow, from Luke 2:35, of which Simeon spoke to you as he held Jesus in his arms. The mothers of this world love their children, but the latter are not given all of their mother's affection. How much affection these women reserve for empty things, how much for themselves. But you loved Jesus with all your power of loving. You loved him with your whole heart, and you loved him alone. He was your only son. You had hardly begun to taste the joy of being a mother, and the mother of such a son, when the day came for you to go and offer him to his divine Father. And you went. Worthy daughter of Abraham, and heir to his faith, you suppressed all your natural feelings and listened only to the voice of God, who wanted you to sacrifice what was dearest to you in this world. And then after that introduction, we have Mary, and Mary speaks for the rest of this chapter. My child, be persevering and generous like me when God asks anything of you, no matter what it may be. He asks me to sacrifice what I love the most. Yet what does he ordinarily ask of you? Only the sacrifice of what you ought to hate. If you love God, generosity should be the main proof of your love. A heart that is mean and ungenerous does not know what it means to love. If you are unwilling to do anything difficult for God, if you lose heart at the sight of difficulties to be surmounted, can you be said to love? True love proves itself in pain and conflict. Inability to suffer is incompatible with the outlook and practice of an authentic follower of Jesus. Do you want to please the Lord with your sacrifices? Then offer them promptly, and without inquiring what they will cost you.
Thank you for listening, and we hope you enjoyed our Marian podcast. As St. John Paul II teaches us, from Mary we learn to love Christ, her Son, the Son of God. Through her intercession, may we grow ever closer to Him. We encourage you to share this with a loved one or friend and help spread our devotion to Mary. Thank you, and God bless.